And welcome back. So we got cut off. So this is the part 2 of our first episode. So Daniel was going to explain about the Fringe news that he's got going on, and I'm trying to encourage him to start his own little channel about that, his own videos. Maybe, I know he's very busy, but maybe you can do like a weekly thing or even bi-weekly thing. But I know you like taking questions and things like that. So any questions you guys have, or if you have no idea what he's talking about, and don't feel bad because for a long time I did it, send a question to him. He would love to answer that, and he's a fantastic researcher. So
thanks.
Take it away.
My background is a lot of supernatural information, research on the supernatural, Bible apologist, just everything that encompasses the unknown, metaphysical, not only strictly just the Christian thought process. I like to study all things. However, I do have my faith based in the Word, in the Bible. However, that doesn't stop me from having a closed mind towards things, because I believe we don't know it all. Having said that, I do follow the Bible as a guideline. Having said that, there are some very interesting things out there that can be happening. Number one, if I can just warn everybody, and I've been saying this to friends, family, whomever I get a chance to, do not be afraid and do not fall for everything you see in the sky. Okay? That needs to be carried on. That kind of thought process needs to be carried on. That kind of warning needs to be ringing in your head from now on till the next, I'm going to say next 2 years.
Especially with Elon Musk doing his what are those not shuttles. His rocket.
His special rockets.
SpaceX.
Yes, SpaceX.
Yeah. It's going to happen. Okay. Yeah. This guy, don't mean to interrupt. I'm going to go on my little Elon Musk rant. Okay. Yeah. He gets corporate welfare. Let's just put it like that.
Dang.
He was handpicked. Okay. Tesla's not even that good of a car. All right. But whatever. But he's been handpicked by God knows who to develop these things, which is fine. It's fine, But if you see it in the sky, don't freak out. You can freak out in about 5 to 10 years, but don't freak out right now.
No, right now they're just...
Remember, Obama killed NASA too, so this is all that we've got in the meantime,
Well, I'm kind of glad that he got rid of NASA. I mean, that was based off of Nazis anyway.
Yeah, the Nazis that we rescued at the end of the war before the Soviets came in.
Operation Paperclip, folks. Yeah. Look it up.
Which was on the Avengers.
It really was. But
not a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's Operation Paperclip, where we rounded up all the Nazi scientists. Right. Some people say we actually got duped in that because Russia took Nazi scientists too, and they beat us. So
they put Sputnik up first.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, do some research on that, folks. But there's just going to be a lot of things up there pretending that there's something and they're not. I know there's a lot of people that disagree with me on this one, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. There are no such thing as aliens. They're not. They have not been visiting us. Are there lives in other planets? Probably. None of our business, though. We can barely maintain ourselves here. How are we supposed to be interfering or digging around in planets we're not supposed to be? Having said that...
it's still fascinating all the same. Like, if you want to hear... sorry to interrupt you again. But because I think there's a lot of people who have no idea what you mean by that. But they're... with quantum physics and quantum entanglement... That's where all that comes from.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm just flat out saying that there's more than just our galaxy here.
Yeah.
And that
there
are billions and billions of other galaxies out there.
Trillions. Yeah.
Trillions. And there's probably life out there. But it's none of our business. I truly believe that. We tend to mess up any little beautiful thing we're given. We don't need to be interfering or talking to or trying to find life out there. Okay, we need to be maintaining what we do here. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all, both spiritually or academically. I think that it's their life out there, and just we stay away from them, they stay away from us. And that's how it's set up. That's why there's such a massive scientific gap between there and there. Having said that, Folks, check out this individual. He was a director of Skunk Works. Look up Skunk Works when you get a chance. It's based off of black space programs. He was and forgive me, my memory's a little foggy because I work graveyard, but he was the CEO of Skunk Works, which was the black projects section of McDonnell Douglas, Northrop, all those folks, okay? And during an interview before he passed away, he said, we already have the technology to send ET home. That we've already been to the stars and galaxies.
I believe that.
There is a black space program, 100%.
I believe that.
And I think that NASA was strictly just a front for not only money funneling and laundering, in my opinion, but also to waste a lot of people's time and a lot of fanfare, a lot of propaganda. That's truly what I believe NASA was set up for. Having said that,
Well, it's a bastion of the Cold War, too.
yeah, sure. Having said that, and I think it's also an excuse to have us launch things up there and spy on each other, but there's this new super blue blood moon that's coming January 31st.
Right. I'm glad you're mentioning that.
So, folks, it's not the rapture. It's not. It's not the rapture. There's already talk like that already on YouTube and all these other conspiracy sites. It's not the rapture.
Okay, but we've had blue moons before.
We have,
There
and
are,
everybody's there.
they're a rarity. But we've had them.
Right. But see, people will...
Long before Jesus came and long after he's been here.
Well, the thing is that a lot of people will combine other scriptures. So they'll say, well, Jesus did mention rumors of war and earthquakes. Well, we have rumors of war and earthquakes.
That's like every day.
Right. And then they go, oh, and then we'll get a sign. Now, this sign has to do with Jonah's sign. And it also has to do with the book of Joel and all this other... Listen, folks, it's a phenomenon. But having said that, that doesn't mean it can't be a warning of some sort. Now, I also believe that because it is lunar, there are people out there who, let's just say, participate in the cultic practices. And when you practice that kind of level of craft... you can say, at such an apex of nature, such as a blue moon or a super blood moon, things can be released on the next level. Now, folks, I know this may sound a little weird, but it's true.
We warned you, it was
If
Fringe.
you honestly think that there's just this level of Earth that we live on, then you are, seriously mistaken.
Right.
And not to mention...
There's other dimensions out there.
Ancient people, including modern scientists nowadays, that we all know that there's a whole other level to this thing.
Right.
So do not sell your stuff. Do not start condemning people.
Pay your bills. And
Go to work the next day.
Yeah.
Go outside and check it out if you have the ability to check it out.
Yeah.
But do not fall into this. Now, all my fellow believers out there, pray. Because if I'm right, and unfortunately whenever I say I told you, it's usually something awful. So if I'm right, there are going to be people out there who do practice certain things,
Right.
and they could be opening stuff that should not be opened. So we should be praying. And I think you don't have to be all day whipping yourself and asking God to protect the earth. That's not what I'm saying. Just say a prayer of protection over your friends and family, your nation, your county, where you work, etc. Because I really do believe that there is the metaphysical. I do believe that there is the whole other level, the supernatural. I do.
And you have to be careful when you go through those, when you're doing research on that. You can really be taken down the rabbit hole, as they say. So, if you feel the need to research all this, go in there with an open mind and a lot of prayer.
Now, let me finish the first point I was making, because I know if people watch this, they're going to go, there's no such thing as aliens, how dare you?
Yeah.
Let me finish that up. There's no such thing as aliens that have visited us here on Earth. No. They're fallen angels. Bottom line. Just my opinion. It's not exactly reflected on her. Just my opinion. I'm the Daniel portion of this.
And like I said, I warned you that this was French.
and I have tons of proof, everything from FBI letters mentioning that they're interdimensional, all the way to Jacques Vallée, who is an incredibly intelligent French individual. And if anybody's ever seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, there's a French man going from all over the world gathering up data. That character was based off of Jacques Vallée, okay?
Yeah.
That's a real thing. He is a very highly respected, intelligent individual, and even he said this is all demonic. There's several educated, from military to scientists, that say that don't even believe in the supernatural, that would say this all reeks of the supernatural. So, therefore, I have to say that given evidence and proof and people far smarter than myself, it's supernatural, you know? So we just need to be careful.
Well, I mean, you know, it's a very uncomfortable topic, of course, but Hollywood's made a lot of money.
Billions.
Talking about these things.
Billions.
There's TV shows about stuff like this. It's just, you know, it's masqueraded by attractive people and silly little plot lines and, you know.
Like if it was Elf, okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Elf.
Who doesn't love Elf?
Yeah.
You know, grew up on it.
Oh my God, when he blew up the oven that one time.
But what people don't understand is Elf actually had a really, really tragic ending. It was really bad. Like,
and you know what? I
the
never
government got
saw
him.
the last episode,
No?
so don't say anything
All
else.
right, never mind. But point is that I'm not crazy, folks. This is a whole other thing that
He was
our
even
government.
a stock trader.
It's from Melmac, you know.
Yeah. And he had a lot of gold, remember, on his ship.
That's true.
He brought Brian that car or whatever.
That's true. There's just a lot of things out there that we are fools to think that we fully understand it.
Right.
But we have to have an open mind on things.
Yeah.
It's my perspective that they are actually this versus the common knowledge that they're actually from blah blah blah.
Right.
You know, but it's always the same reports, you know, every time someone has some kind of connection with these aliens, they're always from a certain area that we can actually check out with, you know, telescopes and satellites, and there's nothing there. Oh no, we're from this area, so we go check out this area, and there's nothing there. And by the way, a lot of these locations that they say they're from, they're actually labeled in the Bible.
Yeah.
Pleiades are mentioned in the Bible, and that's where they say they're from.
So's Orion.
You know? Yeah, so there's a lot of, I don't know about that.
Well,
you know?
too, you have to look at what CERN is doing. CERN, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
CERN, what they're doing, they have their laboratory on the Swiss-French border, and they, no, not Swiss, French, Italian border.
There you go.
And they're doing experiments with like time travel, sending molecules from Switzerland into Italy. There's, I mean, it's. I saw that on Twitter because I follow them on Twitter. So you can look up CERN and look at the research they've been doing.
Yeah,
it's all out there.
It's not exactly.
Nothing we're saying is like just conjured up. You know,
conjured is a good word,
this
yeah.
is stuff we've looked at and researched. So it's all out there.
Well, you know, on top of it all, too, I find it really interesting that they have outside of CERN, it's a scientific place with the world's largest computer created by the finest minds ever. But yet, the symbol outside CERN's headquarters is a giant circle with the goddess Vishnu. Forgive me, from the League.
How have we forgotten the name of that goddess?
It's a goddess of destruction.
Yeah.
And so she's in the middle
Shiva.
of this. Shiva, thank you. Goddess Shiva, the goddess of destruction, is in the middle of this circle that looks very much like the big circle that CERN's doing. So all I'm saying is, if it's on the up and up and it's strictly just scientific purposes, don't you think they'd have like some big awesome like Einstein or you know, Kepler or you know a Copernicus, something
Galileo.
cool. Yeah, something cool like that. But instead they have
a goddess.
They have basically a supernatural
Of destruction.
person who's labeled of destruction being this headpiece. So
For
again,
their scientific
for a scientific
endeavors.
exactly.
They put their seal of destruction on it.
Right. That's like at Cape Canaveral they have, you know, like I don't know, the goat head, you know, inside. a pentagram, and they're like, what? It's not a big deal. It's a goat, and it's a circle, a geometric shape.
We like that. We paid a lot of money for that.
That's not a big deal. It was donated to us by the Rosicrucians. It's no big deal. Yeah, look them up too. So again, we have to question everything.
Yeah.
And not only is that biblical, but it's also just logical. Question everything. Why is that there? If this is science, why are we talking about metaphysical? Why are we talking about religion if this is science?
And churches have failed too. No one wants to talk about these things. Even if you're not religious, people don't like to talk about these things, and if you are, then they especially don't want to talk about these things,
Right.
But like I said, you should research it. All of this stuff, everything we're talking about is going to culminate into something very, very soon. That's what I think. The not to digress, but like the facial recognition, the attachment that we have to technology, and almost like the shame if you don't have this and you don't have that, and that's been going on for a while. But all of this stuff is coming together, and I don't find anything wrong with learning about it.
There's nothing wrong with learning about it.
I think that people just need to have a clear mind when they do and not freak out. And I can almost see why this government has not talked about UFOs and they've kept it hidden. Like if you see the movie Contact, which is, I highly recommend everybody to watch it, because they talk about a God perspective in it too. The protagonist, he's a priest, with Jodie Foster, and they show people freaking out and
Cults.
the cults and people, the doomsdayers, and that's what this government thinks of you. That you're gonna go mad like that,
Right.
And I almost would think the same thing that they would, but if you go to like Russia or England and you read foreign press, they talk about UFOs like nothing.
All day. RT, check it out.
Yeah.
Russian television. Canada, Russia,
Everybody else but us.
England. There's some serious countries out there that have no problem talking about this stuff, and they just consider it is what it is. Over here in America, we're like, ooh, the American church, ooh,
it's still quasi-puritanical, things like that.
And the problem is that it's facing us. It's facing us, and whether something shows up from the sky or not, do not let it challenge your faith.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't believe that just because you can see it, that's what it is. Research.
Yeah.
Continuously use your brain, use discernment, use logic.
That you have to think about the Earth, where it's at in our galaxy, which is the Milky Way, and then you got to think about the Milky Way, where it's at in the universe. And if you believe that the universe is constantly expanding, our position is that anything out there could hit us, And like the movie Contact, is there life outside of Earth? And the dad told her, well, it'd be an awful waste of space, which I think is, cheeky, but true.
Yeah.
But you got to think the Earth, it's out there in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, we have a moon, which has taken a lot of meteors and stuff for us. It's taken a lot of hits for us, but anything could come in at any time.
Yeah.
Our atmosphere is unique to keep a lot of asteroids and things like that from hitting us, but we're very special, and we're in a special place. But when you think about where we're at in the scope of it, I believe the universe is expanding. Anything's possible.
Now, my sister is the political, geopolitical, analytical, educational. I'm trying to make him rhyme. Just trying to make him rhyme. Her feet are always on the ground. My head's in the sky. So don't let my ramblings, no matter how much proof I have, don't let it be an actual reflection on her. She does have some serious political things to bring up, economics to bring up.
But I do still look up.
But you do look up, that's right. And I do think that...
my name is, derives from celestial.
Yeah. I do believe that there is things out there that we need to participate in regards to research, but do not sell your stuff because of June 31st. It is
January
31st. It is not the end.
Right.
It's not the end, folks. Go to work. do what you gotta do, but please observe the beauty of it all. First of all,
It's a blue moon.
it's beautiful. It's a super blue moon.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Just be prepared for an earthquake, if anything.
yeah, that's true too. Yeah, it's me, and I feel this need to have this platform.
And not to be like, I'm not trying to mock anything you've said, but when we have a full moon, they always say like women usually go into labor and people act crazy because the body's made with 7% water and they're gravitational and all that with the moon. So can you imagine a super moon?
Right.
And we've had 2 in 1 month. People are gonna be a little crazy, which I think is funny that Trump's giving a speech and then the next day is another moon. But
There you go.
just be careful and
Use your head.
but
Pray.
those type of moons tend to bring on earthquakes as well. I mean, it's not like total. There's some wise tale kind of thing with that. But if you live in California, what are you waiting for? If you live in Nevada or Oregon, Washington State, Canada, anywhere in the Rockies,
Alaska.
Alaska definitely. South America, they have a lot of them all the time. What are you waiting for?
Right.
And you have no excuse, and I don't want you blaming any president if anything should go wrong.
Blame HARP. Look that up. To swing it over back to things that are
Earthbound.
and obtainable. So she wanted to mention crypto.
Yes. So
finances?
the cryptocurrency rage. It's all happening right now. Right now, it's a lull. Back in December, Bitcoin hit to like 20,000. Now Americans do this funny thing where they buy high and sell low. The rest of the world does the opposite. And I think it's funny. And then, I see people hearing of them mortgaging their house.
Wow.
When Bitcoin was 20,000 and jumping in. And I'm like, why would you do that? Oh my God,
Wow.
And now it's like at 1,100. I'm sure there's people wanting to kill themselves right now. So, but don't. And secondly, don't sell yet. Everyone's saying, oh, it's going to go up, it's going to go up. But you have to do your research too. Do your due diligence because there's other coins.
Right.
It's not just going to be Bitcoin.
Yeah.
There's Litecoin. There's Ethereum. There's Monero. There's Dash.
Didn't Venezuela go?
They're trying to create their own.
Crypto?
I heard yesterday Russia wants to create their own. There's different countries that want to create their own. So, look into it. Do your due diligence, but don't put the house up. For anything.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're going to tell you gold's going to be $1 million next week. Don't. Study. I've been learning about Bitcoin since 2014, and I still don't know everything about it. It's fascinating though, very, very interesting. But I'm excited to see where it's going to go, and all the other coins. Create your own coin.
Good question, because we're running out of time. But do you think this will replace the dollar?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Right now, it's still to the dollar as well. Like you'll see on the news, like Bloomberg or something, BTC to USD, stuff like that. So not yet.
Well, you heard it here, folks. So don't put the house up.
Yes,
and,
please don't.
The
But
dollar isn't leaving yet.
see it as a fire sale. If you want to jump in, you do your research and you want to get in, this is the time because it's low right now.
There you go.
But if you're going to do it at 20,000, no. And if you're holding right now, my opinion, this isn't advice, but my opinion is hold it and see what can happen.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. And it's going to go up and down too. Volatility in this industry, because it's so new, it's just going to keep going up and down.
That's
so
true.
if you don't have the stomach for it, then don't invest in it.
There you go. Folks, it's been a pleasure.
Yes.
Once again, check us out. We're going to be doing this at least, once a week?
No, I hope more than that.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Your schedule permits.
Yeah. But please take the advice seriously. We do care. We do love everybody out there.
Yes.
Take care of one another. Be kind to one another. And go Trump.
Got the popcorn ready.
I don't have my red hat, but
You're making America great again,
yeah,
now, Daniel.
yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, we're all trying.
We're all trying. Take care, guys.
All right. Have a great day.
Be blessed.
Bye.